Buenas tardes, clase. Today we're going to be talking about some stem changing verbs. So you learned in the last video that the U in jugar changes from a U to what? A UE, right? And I told you that that's a stem changer and that there's other verbs like that. Today we're actually going to learn about several different verbs that are stem changers that go from E to IE. So for now, put this one in the back of your head, okay? And we're really going to focus on these verbs. I'm going to tell you a bunch of them that are all stem changers that all go from E to IE. So first we should look at which verbs these are, all right? We have cerrar, which means to close. We have entender, which means to understand. Yes, comprender also means to understand, but this one is also commonly used. We have merendar, which means to snack. Perder, which means to lose. Preferir, which you can probably guess means to prefer. Querer, finally, which means to want, because you've used that in different contexts, just not knowing all of the conjugations. And lastly, pensar, which means to think. All right, so we're going to repeat each of these. Cerrar, entender, merendar, perder, preferir, querer, and pensar. So you'll notice in the stem of each of these verbs we have an E. We'll use this one. If there are two E's, you'll use the second one, okay? If there are two E's in the stem, you'll use the second one. This one and this one. Now, here's where I really need you to pay attention, okay? How do each of these verbs end? Well, if you're looking at these, you notice that some of them end in AR, some of them end in ER, and one of them either ends in IR. So this is what you need to know. All of these verbs follow their regular conjugations. All right? So, if they are an AR verb, then they will follow the conjugations for AR verbs. However, the stem changes from E to an IE. All right? So we're going to look at some examples, but they're going to follow individually their plan for each one. So you know how to conjugate already AR verbs, you know how to conjugate ER verbs, and you know how to conjugate IR verbs. All of these conjugate just like the ones they're supposed to. Okay, so cerrar will conjugate like an AR verb. Entender will conjugate like an ER verb. Merendar will conjugate like an AR verb. Perder will conjugate like an ER verb, and so on and so forth. However, that E in the stem changes from an E to an IE. So let's look at some examples. If you wanted to say, I close the book. I close the book. It would be yo, well, what's to close? to close is cerrar. All right? My E is going to go to an IE. And then the rest is going to conjugate like a normal AR verb since it's an AR verb. So it's going to be yo cierro, and then the rest of the sentence, which is el libro. Yo cierro el libro. All right, let's do another example. What if you said you want to play soccer? You want to play soccer. Tú, and then what is to want? To want is querer, right? So my E is going to change to an IE, and then the rest of it is going to conjugate like an ER verb, since it's an ER verb. All right? So that would be tú quieres. Okay, my E changed to an IE, and then I end it with an ES since it's a conjugation for two. This is an infinitive. We leave it as an infinitive. So, jugar al fútbol. Tú quieres jugar al fútbol. All right. So just with those words, those, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 verbs that I gave you, those are the stem changing verbs, okay? Let's go ahead and do one more. Oops, I started writing it in Spanish. Okay, pause, back up. He understands. He understands. That would be L. What's to understand? To understand. Well, at least the one that I taught you that's a stem changer is entender. Okay, remember if there are two E's in the stem, we're going to go with the second one. So that's going to change to an IE, and then the rest is going to conjugate like an ER verb. So, he, él, entiende. My E changed to an IE, and I end the same because that's my subject. All right? Now, there is one more rule that I need to show you. For stem changing verbs, just like in jugar, so U to UE and E to IE and all other stem changing verbs, if you have this chart, you only stem change inside the boot. Only stem change inside the boot. Meaning you stem change the yo form, you stem change the to form, you stem change el, usted, and you stem change ellos and ustedes. However, you do not stem change nosotros and you do not stem change vosotros. So what that means is, even if it is, for example, we want to eat versus I want to eat, which one of these is going to stem change? Just the I one, because that's the only one that fits in the boot. Yo quiero, the E changed to an IE, comer. Whereas the we, because it's outside the boot, would be nosotros. The E does not change to an IE in this one, so it's just queremos comer, all right? So, remember the rule. Only stem change inside the boot for yo, tú, él y usted, and ellos and ustedes. Not for nosotros and vosotros. Buen trabajo. Don't know what was going on with my pen there. It did something weird. But, you know, I'm weird, so it goes along with me. Weird pen, weird teacher. All right. Hasta luego.